first, before directing Hostel, Roth's friend, who used to make websites, told him about a strange website he found on the dark web. On this website, one could pay $10,000 to kill a living person in Southeast Asia. The website claimed that this activity was allowed in Southeast Asia because the people being killed were pigs, lower-class individuals who voluntarily offered themselves to leave something behind for their families. Roth became interested and was preparing to turn this story into a documentary. However, upon second thought, he realized it was too dangerous, as the entire filming crew's safety could not be guaranteed. Given the dark web's nature, it was best not to proceed. Now, let's take a look at the Hostel trilogy, which is based on real events. Hostel Part 1 tells the story of 3 American college students traveling to Amsterdam. In their hostel, they meet a Dutch peer who brainwashes them, saying that if they want to have fun in Europe, they must visit Czechoslovakia, where the girls are uninhibited and the cost of living is low. The 3 gullible Americans believe him and board a train to Eastern Europe. Upon arriving at the hostel, they notice that the Dutch man has disappeared, but the local girls are indeed very open. However, these same girls, along with the Dutch man, are bait used to lure victims into the so-called hostel, where wealthy individuals pay to torture and kill people. The clients are mostly wealthy, twisted individuals with dark desires. Out of the 3 friends, 2 are killed, and 1 manages to escape. In a shocking twist, he also rescues an Asian girl whose face was disfigured. However, she decides to end her life at the train station rather than live in such pain. In a dramatic turn, the protagonist encounters the 3 women and the Dutch man who lured them there and deliberately runs them over with his car. Before boarding the train, he spots one of the American clients from the torture club and kills him in a station restroom. Hostel Part 2 begins where the first film left off. The surviving protagonist returns to America, but his peace is short-lived. One morning, his girlfriend finds him decapitated, with a cat licking his wound. It turns out the secret organization behind the hostel is so powerful that no one can escape its grasp. The story then shifts to a group of girls in Europe who meet an artist while traveling by train. They befriend her and, after hearing about the wonderful hot springs in Slovakia, decide to change their travel plans and stay at the same hostel from the first movie. After handing in their passports at the front desk, they unknowingly become prey. Buyers with special preferences purchase them for their own twisted desires. That night, one of the girls is deceived by a strange man and taken to a riverside location. Her fate is tragic. She is hung upside down, and a woman bathes in her blood like the legendary Blood Countess. Another girl meets a new boyfriend at the nightclub, only to realize too late that he is a member of the hostile organization and lures her to the torture chamber. The protagonist, Beth, is also kidnapped after soaking in the hot springs. Inside the hostel, the second female lead is brutally killed. However, Beth, protected by the main character Aura, fascinates one of the killers. Pretending to be interested in him, she manages to take him hostage and demands to leave the red torture room. The club's leader arrives and insists that no one leaves alive. However, Beth reveals that she is extremely wealthy and offers to buy her freedom. The leader agrees but states that to become a member, she must kill someone. Without hesitation, Beth castrates the man who had wanted to kill her, leaving him to bleed to death. Thus, she successfully escapes and becomes part of the organization. In the final scene, she sets a trap for the model who lured them to the hostel, taking revenge for her 2 friends. Hostel Part 3 shifts the setting to the United States. The protagonist, John, has a bachelor party in Las Vegas with his hometown friends. However, they unknowingly become targets of the secret hostile organization. After a night of heavy drinking, one of the friends goes missing. The remaining 3 begin searching for him but are tricked by text messages sent from the missing friend's phone, luring them to a hotel room where they're kidnapped. When they wake up, they find themselves locked in cages. One of them, Carter, reveals that he is actually a member of the hostile organization and was behind the entire scheme. Soon, one of the friends is publicly executed in front of an audience. Meanwhile, the protagonist, Scott, is strapped to a chair, only to discover that the one torturing him is none other than his friend, Carter. It turns out Carter had fallen for Scott's fiancée and planned to kill Scott to take his place. Carter, however, escapes. Thinking Scott is dead, he visits Scott's fiancée, intending to take advantage of her. But Scott, having survived, suddenly appears and takes his revenge in the same brutal manner as the hostile hunters.